This is Witchbase News for Friday the 9th of January 2026. I'm Commander Burr. In Elite Dangerous news this week, there's pre-engineered cargo racks in this week's community goal, Alec Turner lines up a time trial for Distant Worlds 3, and FDev releases new information about the upcoming Operations Update. If you enjoy our videos, consider subscribing to the channel and remember to ding the little bell to make sure you see all our content and community posts. And if you'd like to help support our channel, links to our Patreon and everything else are in the description below. Here we go then for a new year of Elite Dangerous news. The Distant Worlds 3 event is launching on the 18th of January, a little over a week from now, and it currently has over 5,500 commanders signed up for the multiple months long expedition into the Deep Black. But fear not, there is still time to sign up at the Distant Worlds website, which you'll find linked below if you want to go. A number of pre-events for the expedition have been going on for some months however, and that trend continues this week. SRV addict and co-host of the Lave Radio Elite Dangerous podcast, Alec Turner, has created a time trial course around the Distant Worlds 3 city structure in the NGC 1981 sector, designed as a challenge for DW3 participants to take on in the run-up to the event's launch. When coupled with the excellent ED Copilot application from Commander Razafrag, the time trial course will record your efforts on the official leaderboard for comparison with everyone else that has taken a stab at it, and Alec has produced a video demonstrating the course, which is also linked below for anyone interested. In line with Distant Worlds 2, Frontier themselves are supporting the latest Distant Worlds expedition, and as a result there is a community goal this week designed to gather the needed resources for an outpost that will be built in deep space as part of the event. The community goal is asking for Bromellite power generators or thermal cooling units to be delivered to the Surveyor's Reach megaship in the Al Rai system. It's a double win for those with a high enough participation level, as not only are the demanded commodities being bought with a 10 times multiplier at the target megaship, meaning there is serious coin to be had, but those in the top 75 of contributors will also receive one of the much sought after pre-engineered size 5 cargo racks with extra capacity when the CG ends just before Distant Worlds leaves on the 18th of January. On the 4th of November last year, Frontier released a developer vlog detailing the journey the game had been on during 2025, most notably featuring some updated statistics on colonised systems since the launch of Trailblazers, but it also announced some new entries into the Elite Dangerous universe. Specifically, the vlog featured our first look at the Caspian Explorer and the Dodec Starport, both of which are now available in the game via ARX powered early access. The vlog also talked about the next new feature to come to Elite Dangerous in the shape of Operations. Originally scheduled for the end of 2025, Operations has now been pushed back to an early 2026 release, but as part of the announcement, Frontier were able to give us our first tentative details. If you missed our video detailing the Operations announcement, you'll find it linked on screen now, but in essence, Operations will be bringing what Frontier call multi-phase scenarios for up to 4 Odyssey players to the game that can feature both in-ship and on-foot gameplay. In the announcement, Frontier showed some images of a new megaship interior space where commanders could engage in combat, and they also made mention of future operations featuring other aspects of Elite Dangerous gameplay such as mining. The 1-to-1 scale recreation of the Milky Way galaxy, featuring hundreds of billions of visitable stars, is one of Elite's primary appealing features, but the sheer distances involved in interstellar travel on that scale can also be a hindrance to some aspects of gameplay, particularly when it comes to teaming up with friends who could easily be hundreds or even thousands of light years away from you, something that doesn't sit well with a cooperative on-foot mission. The issue of galactic scale and how zero-G combat would be handled inside a megaship were questions that were left hanging following FDev's initial info drop in November, but FDev have now released new information that, at least in part, goes some way towards answering those questions. This week, the Epic Games website published an article written by regular industry contributor Charlie Hall that features a short interview with two of the developers on Elite Dangerous, executive producer Gauthier Vercaer and Elite's lead game designer Curtis Griffiths. The article refers to operations as raid-like instanced events, and Curtis makes a point of saying that players will be able to join an operation with friends from virtually any inhabited location where they can dock their starship, leading us to believe that perhaps an operation will be accessed or joined from a desk or console in a starport, in a similar way to missions being picked up or conflict zones joined from the Frontline Solutions desk. He continues saying that one of the team's goals was to ensure that players could drop in easily and quickly with friends and get something done in half an hour of gameplay if that's all they had time for. The article goes on to say that operations intend to maintain that high level of player agency that the game is known for, offering the opportunity for commanders to get creative with how they solve a particular problem that operations may present them with. While starships and infantry are already a known part of the operations equation, SRVs were also mentioned in the article, perhaps an obvious addition, but it's the first time it's been specifically mentioned by Frontier in relation to operations, and that being the case, with gameplay specifically designed to incorporate all three aspects of the Elite Dangerous existence, starship, on foot and SRV, that is the promised sphere of combat from the run-up to the launch of Odyssey in 2021 that, whilst possible, never really materialised properly as a viable gameplay option. It does seem, however, that when developing that holy trinity of combined arms, starships, and specifically their scale in the Elite Dangerous universe, are proving to be problematic. Gauthier makes mention that the scales are difficult to connect in a meaningful way, but it is something that they want to continue to tap into. This statement has led us to speculate here as to whether we are likely to see Elite's oft ignored smaller ships begin to take a more meaningful role as operations matures. A useful close air support role is difficult to imagine in something like a corvette, but a ship with the scale of something like an Eagle would likely prove much more viable given the right weaponry toolset to play with. At the other end of the scale, opening up on-foot combat in an interior space like that of a megaship raises a number of questions, mostly around all aspects of zero-G, as, aside from rotating starports and some convenient magnetism, the Elite Dangerous universe doesn't feature any other regular sci-fi gravity solution tropes, and it wasn't clear how Frontier would approach the problem of combat in zero-G, or even if they might just hand wave it away. When it comes to the issue of gravity, or the lack of it, in megaships specifically, that has been addressed in the interview, and I'm very pleased to confirm that, far from hand-waving the issue away, Frontier seem to be somewhat leaning into it. Curtis notes that the team were keen that megaship combat felt different to surface combat, and therefore, as it's a zero-G environment, when you throw a grenade on a megaship, it will just keep going in the direction you threw it, rather than bouncing off the floor. We were super pleased to hear this little nugget of information, and it has left us wondering how far Frontier will lean into the zero-G environment. What happens, for example, to anyone, NPC or otherwise, that is incapacitated during an operation? Do they float around dead in zero-G, or will their feet stay creepily magnetically stuck to the floor? If you've ever watched the gunplay unfold in the TV series The Expanse, you'll know exactly what I'm referring to. But whatever the case, we're looking forward to finding out. As we've mentioned, all Frontier have said about the release date for Operations is early 2026, but we're hopeful that we'll learn more about the update at least when FDev delivers their first expected significant community update in February. If you want to read the full article by Charlie Hall, you'll find it linked in the description below this video. Will you be running Alec's time trial? Are you grabbing yourself some more pre-engineered cargo racks? And what other environments would you like to see Operations go into? Let us know in the comments below. That's it for now. Thanks very much for watching. We'll be back later this week with more videos. Until then, 07 Commanders, follow the greens on the way out and do keep clear of the toast rack. We very much look forward to seeing you next time.